If you use Home Assistant, you've probably spent hours adding different integrations, installing add-ons, or creating new automations. But some of the more powerful features have been there this entire time, hidden behind the scenes. Today, I'm going to show you 7 of my favorite features, and one of them will finally explain why your automations randomly stop working. All right, this first one is purely a time saver, and I wish I had found this out earlier. Did you know that there are hidden keyboard shortcuts in Home Assistant? You can press the E key to search through your entities. You can press the D key to show all the devices. C will open up the command palette, which quite honestly is the one that I use the most. A opens the assist menu, and then M can generate a My Home Assistant link that you can share with other people. But out of all of these, there's only one that you need to really remember, and that is the question mark, because the question mark keyboard shortcut shows you all of the other shortcuts. So if you don't remember one of them, then you can just hit the question mark and it'll show you all of the possible keyboard shortcuts. So go ahead and give it a try right now. If it doesn't show up, you're going to need to go to your profile, and then under your profile settings, you'll need to just make sure that the keyboard shortcuts option is enabled, and then the keyboard shortcuts will start working all throughout Home Assistant. Speaking of navigating faster, your sidebar menu probably has a bunch of stuff that you rarely use. If you're like me, when you got started, you just installed a bunch of stuff and then just kind of let it sit there. But did you know that you can actually clean those up without digging through your settings? Just click and hold the Home Assistant text up there in the upper left-hand corner. Once you release the mouse, that will put it straight into edit mode. From there, you can reorder the items with the 3 little lines, or you can hide each of the menu items by clicking the little eyeball icon. With just a few seconds of cleanup, your sidebar can look neat and tidy based on what you use the most. For example, if you have Z-Wave JS UI and you have Zigbee to MQTT and you use those the most, you can just adjust those and move them up to the top, and then have everything else that you rarely use it down below, or you can keep it hidden. This makes it easy to see the apps or dashboards on your left-hand sidebar menu. And while we're on dashboards, the cards that are shown on your dashboards don't always have to show up every single time you load it. Sometimes we treat our dashboards as kind of like a giant static wall of tiles, but it doesn't have to be this way, because for our dashboard cards, there's actually a visibility item when you edit that card. This means that you can show that card based on the state of another entity. So if you want your robot vacuum to only show up in your dashboard when it's cleaning up, or maybe you have different ones for different holidays, and instead of trying to hide them off on some other section of the dashboard, you can actually use a Boolean sensor to detect when it's Christmas time, and then have all of your Christmas cards. No, not those Christmas cards. You can actually have your Christmas dashboard cards only show up when that input Boolean is turned on and it's Christmas time. And if you want to go the extra mile, you could actually have certain cards only appear when someone is physically present in your home, and then that card could disappear when that person leaves. Now, if you've ever set up a scene, you know that you have to manually go to each device, turn that device to the state you want, and then save the scene exactly how you want it. And then if you ever want to edit it, you have to do the exact same thing all over again. But to save a scene, you don't necessarily need to do all that. You can actually save a scene directly from an automation without ever having to touch the scene editor. To do this, you go to an automation and you go to the action section down there at the bottom, and then you look for the create scene action. I'm going to be using a few smart switches and lights for this example. In your action, down there under the entities snapshot option, you can save that device and its current state into a scene automatically. Home Assistant will snapshot each device that you specify and what state it's in. This includes basic things like on or off state, but can also include colors or themes or any other changeable entity that Home Assistant has control to. So after you save the scene, you can actually then reapply it in a different automation. You can go to your automations action section again, and then Home Assistant will activate your scene, which means that all the devices in the scene get restored to the original state that you saved them in. That's pretty cool. This really gives your home a smart feeling to it when it remembers the state of your different devices. I've used this to save the state when I leave my home, and then when I return, Home Assistant restores the state of things exactly as I was when I left them. Which of these is your favorite so far? Let me know. I use the keyboard shortcuts quite a bit, but this next one I also use frequently too, and that's in your automations. You can copy and paste and cut all of these automation blocks to different sections of an automation or to a different automation entirely. So you go to the block in your automation that you want to change, and You can go over to the dots and click, and then manually click that option again. But you can also use keyboard shortcuts here to do Control X for cut, Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and then Control Z to undo. And if you're on a Mac, you can probably switch that to Command or some other option, and it'll work the same way. And speaking of Control Z, you can actually Control Z to undo up to 75 times for some reason, if you ever needed to undo that many times. If you have to undo 75 times in your automation, you've probably got a bigger problem than a keyboard shortcut. And of course, if you undo, but then you want to redo, you can also do Control Y to insert what you accidentally removed back to where it should have been. This makes it faster to move around in the automation editor. But what if you could use complex automations without actually building them? There's a way to have expert level logic in your automations, and the button to do that has been sitting in your settings this entire time. It's called Blueprints. Instead of wrestling with complex triggers or conditions to get your automations to work, you can go to the Home Assistant community forum and find automations that others have already made and perfected without you having to go through all that troubleshooting. For example, manually adding every battery sensor for all of your devices into a single automation to trigger a notification when one of them is low. You can just import the low battery level detection blueprint, and then notifies you whenever any of those have low battery. You get all the credit for a pro level setup in Home Assistant, but without having to set it all up by hand. I've never had an automation break, but if you did have an automation break, then this next feature is going to be really useful. So after an automation runs, whether it passes or fails, you can go into the automation and click this traces button. And when you open that up, it will show the automation's tracing for how the trigger got started, what conditions it ran into, and then the action that it performed as a result. And so this tracing flowchart will show you all the different details for each step that you need in order to troubleshoot your automation. Instead of like disabling one thing at a time and then running it and then seeing if it worked, we can do better. And so this tracing flowchart helps you figure out what goes wrong in your automations. So when it comes to visualizing your data, there's a couple of cool hidden features in here too. So for example, if you go to a sensor entity, for example, there'll be that little history graph there on the box. But if you click the See More button, it'll bring up a larger graph that shows you past 24 hours worth of data. But it's kind of hard to see specifically for a specific time what the data is. And so you can double click in that graph and it will actually zoom in to wherever you double clicked. And then of course you can drag it left to right in order to see the data before and after where you clicked. But there's also another cool shortcut where you can press Control and then click on the section that you want to zoom into, and then Home Assistant will zoom in for you. And one more bonus thing while we're in here on the entities page, if you bring up an entity box and you click on that dead space that's kind of up there near the top, this will expand that box. And then if you click that box again, it'll then shrink that box. This is useful for larger graphs or stuff like that where you might want to see more. And this even works for things like devices or something like NFC tags. I've actually got 3 NFC tags that'll change how you think about your automations in Home Assistant. So check that out here so that we can get them set up together.